Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Yeehaw Lads podcast, episode number 16. We're short one member today because Andy's already embarked on his road trip, but today we're going to cover the important essentials of buying a used shitty car, especially out of state. So what we're going to start off with is just a general guideline of what to look for and what not to look for. The things to look for are reliable brands at a good price. The things to avoid are unreliable brands or something that looks like a really good deal at first. So for reference, we did a trip very similar to this a couple years ago. We flew out to Washington State and bought cars. The problem is when you're flying out of state to buy a car, it has to be reliable enough to get you home, or you have to be confident enough that you're going to be able to fix this thing on the side of the road. When we did our trip, two of the cars were pretty good. My car, I bought a Hyundai Elantra. And I'm like, okay, Hyundai is pretty decent, whatever. We got probably 4 days into the trip and the wiring harness began to melt, which is a problem that you're not really going to fix on the side of the road.
Well, and just to clarify, it wasn't really the car's fault. It was more ours for fixing it.
So what had happened was the ECM fuse blew in the car and turned it off. We went, that's strange. It was also overheating at the same time because we were climbing a giant hill. So we thought, okay, It got too hot, kicked a sensor off, killed the car. So we replaced the fuse, kept going. It was fine for another 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Then it began to blow the fuse again. Went, okay, that's strange. Stop at a parts store, grab a couple of fuses to have as backups just in case. Sure. Then it blew fuse after fuse, mile after mile.
Not even mile after mile. Like, I think because we had just gotten into Leavenworth, and we were going down the road and everything was fine. You hit us over the radio saying that you were dead again. We pulled over, popped a fuse in it. We're like, okay, we have 3 left. Camp is 3 miles down the road. We'll fix this when we get there. It's probably just a wire that's got a nick in it and it's shorting. Yeah,
we had a couple of theories at the time. One was that the alternator was over or undercurrenting weird enough that it was glitching out and blowing that fuse. Possible. The starter had it was a couple of different things we were bouncing around, but we wanted to get it off the side of the road back to camp. So we did the worst thing we could have done, which is stick a penny in the fuse slot to drive it those 3 miles.
It was fine.
And it was fine.
It didn't get hot, so...
No, it did great. The problem is we did irreversible damage to it on the side of the road.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
That was unfortunate. So anyway, the next day we pulled it into a parking lot, tried to fix it as best we could in the parking lot. Took it further down the road, it died again, got it towed to a campground, and had to completely rewire the car in a campground parking lot for 2 days.
Yeah, it's not really fun pulling a dash apart in pieces and trying to fit, this big of wire through, that big of a hole through the boot and the fucking firewall.
It looked
we
fun.
Got it out. It was a bitch.
Yeah. It's a thing that we can fix, and we did. But for this upcoming trip,
oh hell no,
we're going to use some guidelines to try to keep us away from problems like that, especially avoiding Band-Aid fixes.
Yeah.
I think that's probably pretty fair to...
And that was a big Band-Aid we put on that car.
That was fucking open heart surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing too is so we got everything fixed. We got all the shitty burnt wire out of there that, had fused together and was really
melted the coating off.
Yeah, it was starting to get bad. Still wouldn't start. So I'm okay, let's look. And I remember I had cut a wire on a relay and I hadn't replaced it because I cut it flush and just kind of I think I taped it to something for later.
Okay.
And I think that turned out to be either the fuel pump power on or a safety or something like that. The car would turn over, but it wouldn't run.
Yeah.
And so we had this little piece of trailer wire. It was probably, about a foot and a half long.
Right.
Shoved in there, duct taped around, and then it ran, and we spliced it onto another piece farther down. So we had a straight shot that was taut, and then this big kind of loop of cable. And it made it run.
And it worked.
And I just told Brian, do not touch that wire. Your car's going to die.
Yeah, all the burnt up wiring we replaced with a trailer 4-wire harness.
Yeah.
We would just take chunks off of it and replace it one after the other.
It's fine.
And it
made
ended
it all
up
the way home.
It ended up working pretty much fine. I mean, it was horribly down on power because we'd melted a sensor for the knock sensor, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was overheating the whole time. Just barely overheating where I didn't have to stop, but enough that if we were on a nasty hill, I'd have to slow way down, which also made it overheat worse because there's less airflow. But
that car overheating made us stop at some gorgeous places.
That is, everywhere is gorgeous. Yeah. Especially when you're up in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
So for this trip, we set our expectations a little bit higher for cars because, one, our budget for last trip was about $1,500 for a car.
Yeah.
This time, I personally brought mine up to about $2,500. I believe you guys are 24, 12,
right
22,
around the same.
somewhere
around the same. Yeah.
Low to mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
It also really helps that Andy's taking all of our gear out, so it's not like, hey, we got to buy $3,000 worth of shit when we get there,
and half of it that we didn't need.
Yeah,
that we ended up, still in the package when we got home. But
it really worked out best because now we don't have to pay like a shipping company
we were gonna end up spending $400 or $600 just to ship a pallet all the way there and hopefully get it when we land. And
well,
it doesn't
hopefully
get broken.
Not only get it, but then hopefully land, buy cars, get them all sorted out, and then get to the place before they closed for the fucking weekend.
Right.
To get there to unload it. So we could have got it figured out, but thank God Andy was just like, I'm going to quit my job and take a week-long road trip out there.
I'll take credit for that. I had put that idea in his head originally.
Oh, nice.
So it's,
subliminal
I don't know
messages.
if that's good or bad. No, I told him straight up, just fix your car and drive it out there. He's like, I guess I could.
I mean, he's making the most out of it.
Yeah.
He's having a good trip so far.
He's having an awesome time.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think he'll probably come out pretty close to what it would take for gas and hotels.
Yeah.
As compared to buying a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll probably be a little bit under over, but
I believe he stayed in the city yesterday. So
yes, he stayed somewhere in New York, which will be expensive, but
one night is
as long as you're planning on it being expensive, you're not out anything crazy. So
he knows what he's doing.
So starting off with a higher budget is great. Our original plan was to fly into Bangor, Maine, buy cars there, start the trail at the top end of Maine. The problem is Maine has state inspections, which is great because a lot of the used cars are well maintained enough they'll pass an inspection every year. The problem is Maine's transit permit, so we could legally drive it home, requires an active inspection.
Yeah.
Which is fine if we were going to buy a nice car, but those are too expensive, which ruins our budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So instead, we moved the party over to Vermont. So we're going to land in Vermont, who also has state inspections, but has the easiest registration process in the country, probably.
Yeah.
All you need is a title or bill of sale, and you get a 30-day drive-away permit, which is awesome.
For $6?
$6.
$6
No inspection needed,
Nope.
which is great because there's a lot of cars that don't quite pass inspection due to rust, due to something very minor. For us, that's great because we don't have an inspection, so we can get a deal of a car that they don't want to spend the time to fix the rust on, and get it for a deal, drive it home here where it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Did we ever sit down and actually figure out what qualifies as too rusty to be inspected? Is it like a square
I don't know what
or a certain amount of area is rusted over?
I don't know. I never looked into it that precisely. I'm sure it's anything that's like open hole in the frame.
Okay.
Like surface
So
rust.
normal Illinois shit.
Yeah, stuff that we deal with every day here.
Fucking here, yeah.
Like Nick's Explorer that was breaking in half.
Listen, if LaSalle County did inspections, that thing would have been off the road in 2016.
Oh yeah, we'd be hosed.
Well,
years ago.
We'll go into a little story here, I guess. The reason I now have the Fusion is because I was my buddy works at the garage. I used to take the Explorer all the time, so I trusted him just working on it all the time. This is there for my tire rotation and oil change. He did all that stuff, but then before I paid for it, he just said, hey, I want to show you something here. So right off the way there, I'm just like, oh, fuck, here we go.
You're like, what's he going to show?
At first, I thought he was going to say something about the timing chain, which is extremely common issue with the second-gen Ford Explorers.
4-liter overhead cam.
Yep.
It's the worst.
Single overhead cam.
Oh, yeah, single overhead cam.
Yeah.
So each side.
The OHV is the reliable one.
Yes. So with the overhead cam, each side of the engine has its own timing chain. One of them is on the front, one of them is on the back. So it's one of the hardest timing chains to change in the engine bay, period.
Yeah. He took me under the car and he says, see this right here? Yeah, that's your carpet. I'm like, oh.
You're like, oh, you mean that piece I see through the car?
And then he says, that's your leaf springs. This is what they're supposed to look like.
And they're just completely destroyed.
Yeah, so he just said, like, I would not drive, like, where do you work? It said Ottawa. I would not drive this any further than Ottawa.
Ooh.
So I'm like, all right. And that's when I went to Shimmer and ordered the Fusion.
And that's when it was time to park that thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
And which is so funny because the last full day I had the Explorer, I went to leave for work. The moment I started, it made the timing chain slap.
You're the
Ooh.
Yep. So I'm like, oh my fucking God. If today was not my last day on this car, like, I'd be fucked.
I would not be driving it tomorrow
Yeah.
if it wasn't.
Yeah, no, tomorrow, if I still had that car, knowing my luck, next day the timing chain would snap.
Yeah, tomorrow
And I would have to pay $3,000 for a new timing chain.
tomorrow would be absolutely over. There's no way you're making that happen.
So, yeah, makes sense why they do inspections. but-
Inspections are a blessing and a curse. It keeps the
Yes.
garbage off the streets, but if you own the garbage, you're kind of pissed because you want to like drive your car and stuff.
Yep.
You know,
What was that?
it does that whenever I right click. The screen goes black.
Jesus.
Sometimes-
We're still working some bugs
This
out.
little quirk.
Yeah, I finally got around to getting a new laptop and setting up my studio monitor that Andy got for free off his sister. It's a
Yeah.
30 or probably 36 or 40 inch Sano 1080p thick boy TV.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's terrible. The image quality's terrible, and it's cutting off about half of the picture all around the edge of the screen.
But it's free.
This was probably like one of the first 1080i televisions made.
Oh, it's got a sticker on it that flexes that it's 1080p.
Oh, it is 1080p. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe 1080p. I can't see it from here, but it's like it's Energy Star certified. Like, yeah, it's terrible. So
It was back then.
yeah, I'm sure this thing pulls like fucking 50 watts more than any other TV. But
Christ.
we finally got that set up, so now we actually got something to look at when we're talking
Yeah.
about it instead of passing a phone around, and I can screenshot
Yeah.
it and keep
Yes.
try to keep everything in sync with it. You know,
What a great band.
in sync. Fucking cringe boomer. But anyway,
Bye.
so talking about buying cars, we set out with just some generic guidelines on what to look for, what not to look for. My thought process was stick with big name manufacturers,
American big name.
American and Japanese.
Yes.
German engineering cars are great when they're first owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second owner, they're meh. Third owner, they fail.
Yep.
Whether
Das Auto.
it's their ingenious timing chain that runs around the whole motor 3 different ways,
Yeah.
or any of their electronics that just completely corrode after 100,000 miles,
Gross.
or their overcomplicated wheel bolt that takes, it's a wheel bolt, not a wheel stud, and the bearings, these special Allen keys that you have to buy.
Specialty shit is what kills it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, German cars, Korean cars are okay, but we're going to try to avoid them if we can. Mainly American, Japanese. We want to look at Ford, Chevy, Subaru, Toyota, Honda, like the big name cars that are known to be reliable, and parts availability is everywhere.
Yeah. That's the other thing, too, that I kind of more specifically looked for was because I specifically remember we were getting the alternator for your car.
And it was 40 minutes away.
It was still only 40 minutes away,
Conveniently, yes.
but like I was kind of waiting for them to go, oh, yeah, we can have it here in 2 days.
Yeah, the like, oh, well, it says it's in stock. Let's take a look. Oh, it's not here. The next one's an hour away,
Yeah. Shit like that. Because me and Andy drove to Wenatchee and got your part. I literally walked in and said, I need this alternator. I said, okay, let me go get it.
Yeah. And the only reason it was that easy is because Hyundai used the same engine for like 10 years, and a whole bunch of models all shared that same 1.8 or whatever it was.
I was going to say, was it the 1.8 or the 2.0?
I believe it was the 1.8.
1.8.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it was meh to begin with. But
yeah, the Ascent, some other sedan they had at the time had it, yeah.
yeah, because it was technically a small front wheel drive car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only reason they had it is because everything uses it. Like,
Yes.
that's the only reason I can imagine they would keep that in stock versus, a Ford Ranger has the same alternator for 30 years.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
shares it with every other car.
Because you don't fix what doesn't break.
No?
Right.
Yeah.
So parts availability is one that you kind of want to just think about when you're looking. It's not the end of the world because hopefully nothing breaks. But if
Yeah.
it does,
You want to be somewhat prepared,
Yeah.
especially like your major shit.
right.
You know?
Exactly.
You want something that's simple
Yes.
and something that if it breaks, you know there's a way to figure out what it is, how to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Researching Hyundais is hard to do. Researching, Hondas is easy.
Oh,
Yes.
so easy.
It's like, what year is it? It's this. Oh, it's this engine, this trans, this wheel. Everything's universal-esque, which makes it really easy to replace it, keep ahead of it.
Right.
So, with that being said, one of the first cars that I decided to look at was a 2008 Honda Fit 4-door hatchback. It's a very simple car. It is a 4-cylinder, so it's very reliable.
Yeah.
It is a 5-speed manual, so there's no transmission issues. The guy, I messaged him today just to kind of touch ground on it. Like, everything about the car seems to be exactly what he thinks it is. It is actively under inspection, so it's not a complete pile. Like, it's nothing fancy. The idea is that it just works.
Yeah. I think that's the definition. Even if the Fit was brand new, it's just something that works.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's an economy car.
It's a fantastic economy car.
Like, realistically, it's a 4-cylinder Honda with a manual. Not a whole lot's gonna go wrong, and it's only got 111,000 miles.
Which is not that
Shit,
bad.
yeah, that's good for an 08.
Yeah, for a 2008 Honda, that's brand new.
Yeah.
My car is a 2012 and has 100 and almost 80 grand on it already.
I was gonna say it's close to 200, ain't it?
She's getting
Close. It
Getting
hurts
there.
it when you say close like that.
I know. I'm sorry.
But like, this is a prime example of a good listing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mention any obvious problems, which can be good or bad, but it is also a reliable car, so there's not much they'd be hiding.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like, well, they'll check engine lights on, but it's nothing. Or,
Yeah.
this leaks, but it's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
It's one of those cars where if there is something truly wrong with it, it's gonna make it well known and very apparent very fucking quickly. You're gonna get in it, and before you get out the driveway, go, this thing's fucked, or okay, nothing so far, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah. I can work with this.
Yeah.
And these things have a cult following. Like, have you
yeah.
been to the subreddit?
People love the Honda
Yeah,
Fit.
people love these things. Like, if you need help, like you got the people that can help you out.
Yeah. People turn them into race cars for like autocross
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
It's such
I
good
see a lot
car.
of those. Yeah.
But it's a very good, like, small, light, easy to work on car.
Yeah.
So that made it my first choice.
It's
Just
a
right off the bat.
reliable Elantra
Yeah, exactly.
from
It's-
the 2000s.
Yeah, it's everything better about Kia, or everything better than Kia is Honda. Yeah, it just works.
Yeah.
So that was where I got to my first listing. I talked to that guy today. Sounds like he's still got it. I gave Andy his number so he can work with him, see whatever.
Gotcha.
Great.
So hopefully that works through, because I'd be thrilled to have that.
Now, are you telling the sellers like our whole story when you give Andy their number and everything?
I'm glad you asked, because I used a very specific set of wording
Okay.
to figure out to get the most information without like trying to overtell him a story.
Mhm.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Because I don't want to overwhelm a seller. Like,
Well,
yeah,
and usually
explain
that's a
all
good way for a person on the receiving end to go, this is too much. This is
Yes.
too much fucking shit going on.
And they don't want to deal with you driving their car across the country because they don't know if you're just stealing it and going to do
Yeah.
something illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I told him was, because Craigslist, you have to respond via email first and then
Mhm.
work from there.
Yeah.
Well, so my email was, I'm interested in your 2008 Honda Fit. So that's your first line.
Yep.
Make sure he knows that you're talking about exactly his thing.
Yep.
Because he might have a dozen listings.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right.
The car looks solid from the pictures. Is there anything that would keep it from being daily driven right now? Trying to find something reliable to use as a work car. That's your
Fair enough.
like.
Okay. Simple enough.
If it's reliable enough to daily drive, you're just daily driving it for the next week.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, it's if you ask, would it drive across country right now? He'd be like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Right.
But if he could drive it every day and never worry about it,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a pretty good sign of might be like, oh, you could drive it every day except the oil leaks from here.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you look at it, it's fine.
Big
Which,
whoop.
so that was my initial like first sentence, paragraph, whatever. And then I followed up in that same message of, would you or somebody be available Thursday for me to come check it out? That's the best day for me. Thanks. Very simple. Like, of course, his response, he's surely some old guy because he still uses Craigslist. He responds with, it's Keith. Message me. Yes, car runs and drives great. Bring cash, drive home. And then his phone number.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Quick.
So then
simple, to
you
the
know
point.
it's well taken care of.
Hypothetically,
If
yes.
it's from an older guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't want to deal with Facebook because I haven't seen this car on Facebook at all.
I haven't.
You might not even have it.
Yeah. Oh, probably not. And like the background looks suspiciously trailer park,
Yeah.
but there's like nice stuff.
I was
parked
gonna say, nice little
there's-
snorkel.
Yeah, there's like a nice Tacoma in the background, all like
Oh fuck
all
yeah.
squatted up.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck.
so it's
With
like
the matching fucking rims too. Hell yeah.
That's sick.
those are TRD Pro rims, homie. But it's like it's got good mileage. The car looks good. He responded within a couple hours off an email. Like, I think this is a pretty good option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't say I'm not available Thursday.
Which is also great.
He didn't say that he was
Great.
specifically either.
Yeah.
So that's why this is still number one.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I'm not for sure, but I'm hoping Andy gets, some information out of him in the next day or so to
Gotcha.
Yeah.
help solid, put that in place.
So what's your backup plan?
I don't have a set backup plan right this minute.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
what's your option
Well,
B
yeah.
if this one falls through?
That's part of the reason I wanted to host this meeting today.
Oh,
Is
okay.
because I don't want to be messaging the same people that you guys
Yeah,
are
gotcha.
about meeting up on the same day.
Yeah.
Because they might think
Valid.
either we're trying to one of us is going to lowball them and make the other look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
When in all reality, we're just trying to buy the same fucking car and all leave at the same time.
Right.
I saw that one.
I have a lot of cars saved. I'm trying to just kind of see what happens with them throughout the week.
Yeah.
So one of the ones I know we both have saved
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing's tits.
is a 1998 Ford Escort wagon.
I am so happy I saw that come up. Like, I was just scrolling Facebook at work and that thing came up.
Yeah. Nick found a beaut. Even the paint's in good condition still.
For a 98, I was expecting some,
Like and
peeling clear coat or
oh,
something.
yeah,
but it
right?
looks pretty good for its
like
age.
garage capped.
Yes.
Oh, definitely garage cab.
Yeah. No,
And like even if you go back to the other picture here,
Which one?
the carpet one, the one in the back. Like look how good the fucking carpet looks. No
Yeah.
crazy stains. I mean, of course it's, stretched,
It's
but
used.
Right.
who gives
but I
a
mean,
fuck?
like he's clean. He keeps the interior
Oh,
clean fairly
yeah.
regularly.
It means
like,
somebody at least pretended to care about it enough to sell it.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just it's not full of baby clothes and
Mhm.
leftover McDonald's
Shit.
bags on the ground.
Yeah.
which I am really surprised people just don't clean the inside of their car before taking pictures before putting it up.
Right.
Or they take one blurry. They have a picture they took a year ago.
Yeah,
and that's
their,
the
their
only
fingers
picture.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to do a masterclass on how to sell cars later because people need to learn because it's
They
bad.
do.
Yeah. And how to respond fucking back to people with actual English text.
Like, hey, I asked you 3 questions. You answered none of them and just said it's still for sale.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not at all what I was
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
We can talk about that that funny computer guy I was bullshitting with a while ago. The kid who wanted that
Oh,
$1,300 computer for $4,000.
Yeah.
And I tried messaging him, asking what he had,
what
CPU
it actually
specs, stuff like
was.
that, and he was just like, "Well, it's got this graphics card and this power supply," and it's like, I didn't fucking ask you that. I can clearly see what you have in the pictures,
Mhm.
because I just kind of wanted to be a dick and build it on PC Part Picker and see how much that would be today.
See how much he was overpricing it because
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
know what he was doing.
Poor
Of course
kid.
not.
But back to this Escort. So
Sorry.
this is a 1998 Ford Escort wagon, 107,000 miles, does not pass Vermont inspection, runs and drives well. So that can mean a couple of things.
Mhm.
From there, you have to use context clues to figure it out. Why does it not pass?
Right.
The car itself looks good all the way around.
Mhm.
So we would have to assume that's a rust problem, right?
Yeah, my best guess is that the frame is either A, gonna have a hole in it
Potentially.
from
Yeah.
rust, or B, and again, we don't know specifically how they pass inspection, but it would be so much rust of a certain area classifies you to be non-inspectable.
Right. I'm
Right,
sure
or
there's
passable.
some parameter they have
Yeah.
to use to make it, but for whatever reason, this one doesn't pass. But the car looks good. The seller has all the pertinent information,
Yep.
which leaves confidence at least.
Yeah.
There's not oh, check engine lights on, that's why it doesn't pass.
Yeah.
Because you can ask why.
Exactly.
Right.
This is a car when you message the guy, you ask him, why does it not pass? And he'll
Yep.
go, it's rust, it's this, it's that. He'll know how to respond to what you're asking because he's already got it in the ad. And it's a Ford Escort. It's a 4-cylinder engine, front wheel drive, not a lot to go wrong, just like the other cars,
Yeah.
This is another good example of what to look for. It's close to where we're landing too, which helps a lot,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one that I would definitely agree is a good car to look into.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? What is your guys' first? Was it that? Or do you have something else? that
Well,
was your
so we
first?
had a
Well-
Volvo that unfortunately sold. The only thing that was kind of killing us with that one is it had been listed for 22 weeks.
That's a long time.
That
for
is a
cheap
long
car.
time.
Yeah.
But you also have to remember when I bought, and it goes by case, but like when I bought my bike on Facebook, that had been listed for 36 weeks.
And that's part of the thing is, does it scare people off having it be listed for a long time? Or should it scare you off that it's been listed a long time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Case by case is the way to look at
I
that.
think mainly more for my bike, it was nobody wanted to drive the hour and a half to bumfuck nowhere to go pick this thing up.
To look at a not R6.
Yeah.
To look at a bike that, the pictures weren't exactly great.
No, they weren't great, but they weren't horrible.
Right.
But again, case by case basis.
Right. So a Volvo is Swedish. Swedish cars are okay.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't be at the top of my list, but I wouldn't actively avoid them.
No. What year was that, Nick?
The 2008.
2008 thing was fully loaded. Heated seats, heated everything, motorized everything.
Brand new all-season tires.
Brand
just
new
put on
all-season
it.
tires. Like, the thing was truly mint.
It was an XC70. Yeah, just like
that.
Similar to this, but not the same car.
No.
Okay.
I've seen this one, though. There's a lot of things wrong with this one, so it would be a good example.
Right.
My key main factors was the price was decent. I think it was listed for 18.
Yeah, 1800.
So, I mean, that piqued my interest a little bit with that price. I think he had dropped it over time due to no interest.
Or he had interest and all the interest found problems.
Exactly.
Well,
that's the problem with an affordable priced car is you have to be suspicious of the price if it looks like a good deal.
It wasn't that far off when I ran similar built XC70s on KBB. They came out to max, even like excellent condition. I think max it came out to like 2200.
Sure.
The resale value is just not good.
Yeah. And
but
the
you
other
have to
thing
wonder,
was,
is there a reason the resale value isn't good? Is 200,000 where they start to break a lot and people just ditch them for, nothing? Hypothetically.
It was going to be one of our first ones to where Andy this is a great car.
Just check it.
Just go check it out because, again, it's going to be one of those where if there is something wrong with it, it's going to make itself well known very fucking quickly.
Or when you message the seller, that'll help, it'll clear it up right easy.
It's either going to be this guy isn't going to respond or Andy's going to get there and go, the fucking engine is half a bolt from falling out.
I can hear the engine rattling from here. Like, why'd I even drive here?
Yeah.
That's the problem with cars that look good on
I
paper.
know.
What else? So what is your number one then?
So our number one, personally, I think is kind of tied between that Crown or that Escort and that Subaru that you were just on.
So that is a 2002 Subaru Legacy with 174,000 miles.
Yeah.
So what piqued your interest on this?
Just
the description is motor was rebuilt, usually a good sign.
Yeah.
Runs and drives well. Muffler needs to be replaced. Interior could be cleaned up a bit. Wouldn't pass Vermont inspection, but should pass New York or Massachusetts.
So that kind of piqued mine because just if it's going to pass New York, then it's just barely on that line of like, oh, you just have a little bit too much rust.
Of like, there's nothing horrible with it, but
exactly
there might be something a little sneaky,
Now,
the thing that scared Marcus was in the listing here, it says clean title, but it's from like the business that put this listing up on there is a salvage company or something like that.
Okay. So when we went to,
it's one of the last pictures.
Yeah. But when we went to Washington, one of the places Andy wanted to stop at first was a salvage company junkyard that sells cars.
Yeah.
And we spent
way
probably
too long in there.
2 hours there looking at cars that every one of them was not worth our time.
Yeah.
No.
Why we spent so long there, I do not know.
Yeah.
Like, we went there to look at an Explorer that wouldn't even start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like, well, this is terrible. He's like, well, what else do you have? He found an Escape that had a misfire.
Well, and no offense to Andy, I think the problem with that really is the guy was like, I just had it started yesterday. And it's like, let's fucking go. We do not have fucking time for this.
Yeah, we're here to look at this. It doesn't work. Let's bounce.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I can't blame him for wanting to look at everything there because there was a lot of stuff.
There was.
But there's a lot of garbage too.
Yeah.
And again, I think it just all relates back to that was our first trip.
Right.
So
first trip on a shoestring budget. It makes it could make it a little tricky.
So
this thing doesn't look bad.
No.
Like I don't see any obvious red flags.
Nope.
It's
paint still looks good.
But again, that's cosmetic.
minimal rust. I know, but usually you can tell.
You get a pretty good picture of
You get a
good picture of the
image.
engine, too.
The guy who's selling it is taking really good pictures.
Yes.
I'll give him that off the bat.
Yeah.
It's got an interstate battery, so he's a boomer mechanic. Like, you love to see it.
But like if you can roll up, if somebody is taking pictures of a car of a listing that you're looking at, and the paint has just gone to shit, you're gonna know off the bat that car has had somewhat of a hard life, either sitting outside and getting sun fade and the sun beating down on it, or vice versa in the snow and the salt and everything like that. So like when you have good paint overall, it's at least a little bit of an indication that okay, this was somewhat
somebody
upheld
cared about this
at some point.
Okay, I can dig that. It's not a guarantee.
No,
but it's something to just kind of look at and say, okay, if the rest, the interior is not a mess, the engine bay looks clean, it's got good pictures, like it's something to give you some confidence in the buyer to make the steps to check that.
Exactly.
It
was a green flag.
Yeah. There's no obvious red flags here.
Other thing I want to mention, I looked at his other listings, and he makes it clear if the title's not good on them either.
Sure. And that's always, that's a helpful thing is when it says something, like one of his other listings, like right off the bat, it says frame was replaced, but it's bad again. Check engine lights on, he seems like an honest seller.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do too.
And he does post pictures of the dash with like the lights on.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. Ideally, a good seller is reliable in every post.
Yeah.
Not just every post says runs good and that's it.
Yeah.
If he calls it when there's actually a problem, that's ideal.
Yes.
So that's is that your number one right now?
Those two are kind of tied.
The Escort
I would say
and
it's tied.
Man, it's getting fucking toasty in here.
Well, there's that.
I already bumped the air down,
Well,
so you're on your
Marcus, I don't know if you sent it to him. What do you think of that Dakota that we found
Dakota.
2 weeks ago?
A Dakota or a Ram? Because
It was a Dakota. The Ram got sold, unfortunately.
Did it? I thought he just sent it to me.
No, the Ram was sold. Oh well, not this one.
Oh,
there was a different Ram we were looking at that was.
I got you. Okay.
A lot.
Yeah, it was a 2008 Dodge Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi.
Yep.
It's my dad's truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like there was a video of him starting it, and he literally got in it. Ding ding.
One
It sounds just like my dad's truck.
Well, because it's basically the same truck.
It is.
Yeah.
And so I really liked it just for the fact of one, he showed the video of it cranking.
Yeah. And like it was a 2-minute video. So
like, it was like a full walk around and everything.
To it. There was no weird knocking
burbles,
or anything.
nothing like that.
Nothing obviously wrong with it.
Yeah, the max
one
was
way.
like I think the price was 2,000 right there.
Is it this black 2003?
Nope, to the left.
No, it's not that one.
That one.
The silver one.
Silver one. Yeah, it's the 3.7 liter.
Silver 2005 Dodge Dakota.
Yeah.
Cab and a half.
I think this is on the bottom of our list. I would say.
I don't know. We have so many cars on there. We haven't checked it in a while, so
that's the thing is we're kind of just wholesale saving a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That if something falls apart last minute, we have a bunch of options to go through.
No, it was put to work. Oh, I thought this one had pictures of the bed. Maybe not.
It
no.
does
Okay.
not. So this is somebody used this as a work truck.
Yep.
Is about all I can assume from it.
Absolutely.
Like it's dented, it's spray painted in spots to cover rust. Like it's not the fanciest thing.
No.
And the description itself doesn't list any real issues.
Right.
2005, 130,000 miles. 4-wheel drive, frame's good, starts or runs, drives good. Loud muffler leak, that's the least of our problems.
Meh.
You know?
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
Yeah,
We're just gonna cut it off anyway.
Oh
I was
my
gonna
god.
say, yeah, it's just getting hacked off anyway.
Yeah. It doesn't say what like engines in it or anything, but most of these listings don't.
He had a picture of the engine bay.
He did have a
it
picture of the
shows.
engine bay. So
Yeah.
actually that is
It's a V6.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 3.7.
376. Good enough.
Yeah.
Nothing to brag
You're
about,
not
but
towing anything heavy with it, which is
No, well, it's a Dakota, so
hey, I drive a Ranger. I don't want to hear it.
no.
yes,
They're
a
good trucks.
new
They're
Ranger.
good trucks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's not a bad,
No.
hypothetically, that's not a bad one.
Again, I have not looked through our listings nor gone to look for new listings
In a week.
like
Well, I've been doing it
or
every day.
more.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the time.
I've been
and
annoying the shit out of you with the ones I found.
Not really. Like I think the one day when we were at the fair, it was so fucking hot out. I wasn't selling anything. I was pissy already, and then my phone just all of a sudden ding, 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 and I looked down. I'm like,
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Nick! I'll look at him later. I know you want me to answer you right now.
Oh no, I know you were working. That was
No,
just more of like,
you
hey,
were
when you settle down at night, just look at these.
Yeah.
Is this why
no,
your
I
phone
did.
screen's broken?
No, my phone screen's broken because it got cold in the morning.
Mhm.
And so I went to change from pants back into shorts and I took my belt off and just wasn't paying attention. Because
You
at
slide
the end
your
of the
belt
day,
off,
you just, throw all your shit out of your pockets.
wholesale all the shit out and just chuck it.
And I pulled, oh my God, words today.
Word salad,
I
baby.
took my belt off
Mhm.
and I just set it down and it just, the corner of my buckle just hit my screen.
Oh, rip.
So now I apparently have to drive an hour and a half to go get it fixed.
Fucking
Or wait 10 days for me to mail it off for them to ship it back, and that's not gonna
Yeah, kind
work.
of all that sounds
Yeah, I'm
terrible.
fucked.
Yeah.
But whatever. Back to our cars.
Either way. So since we're on the topic of trucks, I'll go over a truck that
Oh.
Yo.
I'm not set on by any means, but if the fit falls through, I'm messaging this guy just to see. Damn. So this is a 1989 Ford F-150 single cab long bed, 5-liter V8 302 two-wheel drive. The odometer just rolled over 93,000, which means it's either 93 or 193.
Yeah.
It's a 5-digit odometer, which
Oh,
I'm fine with that. Like, it looks like a 93,000 mile truck.
Oh yeah.
it's
that's
in
Just from
awesome.
how it's sitting too.
and he's got like
Oh,
aesthetic.
look at the
Oh.
drone shot
He's
or
got, like,
pole shot.
He's like dope aesthetic pictures of it. Like,
Damn.
now pictures are worth 1,000 words,
right.
but the words in here are pretty good too. Like, he quotes in here like, "I've owned it since it read 2,900 miles, and in about a year, or for about a year. In that time, I drove it to Georgia and back with over 1,000 pounds in the bed many times, and towed my car 600 miles with it. It never let me down once." That's the kind of confidence I like to see buying
Yeah.
something used.
That's yeah.
Good quality pictures all the way around. Interior looks good.
That
Oh,
is
wait, go back to the bench seat.
Insanely good.
It is-
interior.
Look, even you have one small rip
Yeah.
down the seam.
And that's
And it's
almost
not
guaranteed to
cracked to
happen on these
shit.
trucks.
right.
Like, it's super normal when it
Yep.
does that.
Let's say my dad's was torn the shit like that. He had an 89.
Yeah, it's got an Alpine because, that's what you do.
Fuck it,
Based.
cheapy.
The bed's not terrible. It's got a topper, engine bay picture, like relatively good seller. Everything
Yeah.
is
That's not too bad, Rust.
everything's
No.
well documented and looks good. Like, very believable.
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
I would trust that.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing in here makes me go, I don't know about that one. Like,
Yeah.
everything in here is like, wow, this thing's pretty good.
What does that have? The 4-speed auto or 3-speed?
In 89, it's probably no, it's not 3 on the tree, but
No.
I'm assuming that this is it's probably a C4 automatic, so it's a 4-speed.
Okay.
Not a great one, but
No. But,
it would probably work just fine.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, if he fucking took it across.
Yeah, he's
The
taking
other
it
side
to,
of the
to
country.
Georgia and back a dozen
Yeah.
times. Like
No.
like he's got a picture on the underside. The axle, you can see like some moisture on it. So either he
could be
drove through
water.
a puddle or it leaks a little bit of oil.
Yeah.
Either way, not the end of the world, but
Right. That looks fucking good.
for $2,500 around here, you're not getting close to something this nice.
Mm-mm.
No.
God no.
The
And if
problem-
you get this, I kind of want to get you. What's the thing from Toy Story? The little rocket.
Oh,
know, the
fucking-
rocket
the
truck?
pizza rocket,
Oh,
yeah,
or
the
whatever
pizza
it is.
rocket,
Or
yeah.
Make you fucking
Planet,
one of those.
Planet Pizza,
Yeah,
I think is
Planet
what it is.
Pizza.
My pizza. Yeah.
Oh, I messed up.
Planet Fitness.
Problem is, you guys get to see how bad I spell now that I've got it on the big screen.
Yo, it's a real thing. In Streeter.
I think it was Planet
It's right
Pizza.
there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Disney Wiki.
Yeah, how about that? Planet Pizza. That's the
Planet
one.
Pizza.
Get the same decal, put it on the truck.
Oh, dude, that'd
Yeah.
be so fucking cool.
That
Even
would
though
be
I think
sick.
the truck in the movie is like a Mazda.
It's a Toyota.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
it's a yellow Toyota.
Yo.
Yo on the tailgate.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a pretty decent little truck. I'd be interested in that if it's it's been for sale for a month. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Right.
The problem is the gas mileage home is gonna suck. I'll probably get like 13, 14, but it is pretty sick.
Yeah.
You're
I
getting
mean, you
double
can-
digits.
Double
You-
digits. That is true.
You can roll into our horrible gas mileage truck if you want to.
Is this Dodge that you sent me?
Yeah.
Before we get into it, I love it, but I just know the gas mileage
Oh,
is
it's
like
gonna-
single
yeah.
digit.
It's,
You know that you're
it's
just
gonna
not
suck.
thrilled
I
about it.
looked it up. It
I
said
just
like
kn-
13.
I just know I'm gonna have to dip in my savings account for gas if we get the same.
Oof.
You can't tell me that thing's not fucking
No,
cool.
it's cool. It's just I don't want to
I
come home broke.
I know. Same.
So this is a 97 Dodge Ram 3500 with what appears to be a dump bed on it.
Mhm.
Yep.
He said it works.
Oh, I'm sure it works.
I think he's got a picture of it up, don't he?
I'm assuming somewhere in here.
Maybe
No,
not.
nope.
No
All right.
pictures. But still, like 121,000 miles manual transmission.
Yeah.
Wow. this is a workhorse.
Yes.
This thing's been used and abused, but if it's maintained with all that, that's not a bad start.
Yeah.
Different doors on it, so it's had some sort of, care about it.
Right.
Anything in this as a red flag? If you need a truck you can abuse without feeling bad, then this is the one. Oh my God, I love it.
Reliability.
Won't pass
Yep.
Vermont inspection. Solely because of frame welds where they're professionally completed but still cause a technical failure. At least
Interesting.
he's got a very clear reason in his mind of what, why it would fail if it fails.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't know, bad weld. Like, it was professionally done. It just isn't to their standard
Yeah.
of whatever,
Yeah.
And it's not like we've never welded a frame back together in pieces. Brian's rock truck.
Don't know what you're talking about. I'm a
And it's
professional.
great.
Well, it could be better. I should have plated them.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
But
That's the thing. I was thinking about that too. It's just like there's a hole in the frame when we get home. It's like I know 3 people that can weld.
yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. Michael did the entire frame rail on Mark's truck. It was probably, he took out like a 4 or 5 foot section
Oh,
of the
shit.
back
Shit.
where it had been patched together with like fence posts and
Mhm.
stuff, like the sketchiest. Like,
Yeah.
Booger
he took a
welded.
couple pieces of C channel, stacked them, made a whole nice frame out of it. Like, even reattached the shock mounts. Like, he did a really
Nice.
good job.
Good.
He didn't ask for me for help either, which is even better because
Nice.
I did not.
I mean,
want to.
Michael just kind of does that for work, though, doesn't he?
He kind of just does
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, he'll cut frames in half at work sometimes,
Yeah.
allegedly. But this thing,
It's bottom of the list, but like, man, how fucking funny would that be?
it'd be funny for a couple days, and you get real tired of it. Like,
Yeah.
it might drive nice around town, but 80 miles an hour on the interstate home, I might kill
My
myself.
other,
I'm not.
and you're right. My other thought process of why I kind of like this. Oh, it's a douchebag.
Well, of course it is.
Fuck.
He's got C63 wheels for sale.
He likes Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Everyone does.
But
he drives a Jeep truck.
yeah.
Keep truck.
But my
Interesting.
kind of thought process of if we got that, one of the nice added benefits is if any of us got stuck in anything,
It'll drag it out.
I could put it in low and just idle and pull you guys.
I
out
didn't
of
even check if
anything.
it was 4-wheel drive.
It is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Like, does it say in there?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it does.
Okay. I didn't check to see if it said that or not. Because you can't be too sure, especially with dualies. About half the time they are, half the time they're not,
That one we're both looking at.
So this next one is a Fiesta. Not the Mexican party, the actual car.
You could have one in there.
You could have a
sure.
Fiesta in my Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
2011 Ford Fiesta with a good clutch, air conditioning, heat, power windows, decent tires. Does have normal New England rust on the rockers, asking $2,000. Pretty clean, straightforward ad. He dropped the price on it once or twice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was asking, I think, 2,500 on it.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
25, 2600, something like that. All the pictures look really good.
Yeah.
Which, on something this nice, does make me a little nervous. It's like, why is it $2,000 and nobody's bought it yet?
Mm-hmm.
How long has he had it? 2 weeks
2
up
weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks isn't bad. Now, maybe it's 2 weeks since he dropped the price, or 2 weeks since he listed it.
there?
I
Yeah,
don't,
Facebook's not really clear with that.
No.
especially not on the web app. It's fucking.
Yeah.
And on the mobile app, it says over 2 weeks. It's like, I'd like to know how long. Like, it makes
Yes.
it does, believe it or not, make a difference to what I'm doing, how long it's been listed.
Right.
This one's not bad. This would be definitely worth taking a trip to see. 100%. Like,
Well, and the fact that
Just
it's
a
like
little bit
right
right
in
outside we land.
Burlington. So,
yeah, this is one that I think no matter what, Andy's going to stop and look at.
Sick.
Whether I buy it, you buy it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter either way.
Yeah.
It is a manual, though. You guys going to drive a manual the whole way back, all 1,000 miles?
I will just have to. I can. It's been years since I've driven one, but I think I can catch on.
Can just learn
quick.
on the fly.
Yeah.
I just-
If we go to a Walmart parking lot or something and I fuck around for like 5-10 minutes, I'll get the hang of it.
It's really not that
I mean,
hard.
I learned in a Nissan Altima.
This is the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the same thing. It's
All I
probably
have-
it's probably a better clutch and transmission.
Probably a better
honestly.
clutch. The problem with small cars is light engines.
Yes.
So you have to balance your rev a lot more.
Yeah.
Then if you have something big, it'll pull itself through it a lot easier.
Right.
It's a little learning difference or whatever, but it's not impossible.
No.
All
I
I
don't even know what engine that Fiesta even has.
Probably a 1.6 NA.
Does it say
In
it's the 1.6?
2011, probably.
Oh, yeah, that's before EcoBoost.
yeah.
So.
Well, it's the first year of EcoBoost when the 3.5 was in it. 1.64 cylinder. Yep.
Okay. All right.
5-speed manual, like up to 38 highway.
I was gonna say, like, that's better highway than the Fusion.
because there's no turbo wasting all your
Right. Fuck.
Yeah, all I have to do is also get in a parking lot, but then just take a this action to a this
Yeah,
action.
you're used to a bike clutch.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely different, but you know.
Yeah. No. I feel confident. It's just gonna.
It'll
just give me
probably-
5-10 minutes and I'll get
Yeah, just
to it.
beat the piss out of it. I'll figure it out.
Worst comes to
eventually.
worst, you just get it moving and then it's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is if we're doing stop and go traffic, you have to be really precise a lot of times. Like
That I'll probably be a little iffy on,
you
but
just leave a bunch of room.
Yeah.
Is all all you can do. If someone cuts you off, they cut you off. It's just
yeah, if we get
Or-
if we get stuck on a hill, like
Hill.
if there's a stop sign, then I'll probably a little bit nervous.
hill
but-
starts are tricky.
This
Yeah.
is why I wanted to stay with an automatic.
You might. You never know.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
this isn't your first car anyway.
No.
Is it what 3 out of 4 are autos? Is this the only
Uh,
manual, like serious manual one we're looking at?
We have
anymore?
like 3 or 4 out of like an entire list of like maybe 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like a good third are
Are automatics or a third are
Sticks.
sticks,
Okay.
2/3 are automatics.
Oh, that's nice.
ooh Mazda.
Yeah, it's a Mazda 3. That was one of them I just found today when I was zooming around.
Is the back rusted all the shit?
Oh, I don't know, man. Probably. Has a subwoofer though, so it's got only
Oh, just
Oh my god!
the pictures-
doing cartwheels.
all the pictures are from the exact same angle on the front, just with the phone turned different
Yeah,
directions.
that has me worried a bit.
That's how you
Yeah.
not take pictures of a car.
no.
Where is that located?
Westminster.
That's not too far. I don't think.
It is further than I would like. That's why I saved it today. I just saved it as just like
Oh,
it's pretty damn
Oh
far.
god
okay.
damn!
Yeah, it's close
In
to
the opposite
Massachusetts.
direction.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's not something that I would personally buy,
No.
but just
Okay.
like if worst comes to worst, like we
Yeah.
run through everything, I just save it
Yep.
just because.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like this one.
Mm.
So this is a 2011 Ford Crown Vic, gray, black wheels. This is the
Your
almost
exact same car.
almost the identical car to the one that I owned.
yours was an 11,
Mine was a 10,
a 10.
but it's as close as you can get because 11 was the last year anyway.
Right.
4.6, 4-speed auto, 327 gears. Like it is the same car.
Holy shit.
Everything about it looks good in the ad.
Yeah.
Like if this was in the realm and all my other stuff fell through, I'd definitely be looking
Some
into it.
Interesting. I can't tell if that's reflections or if
No,
some
that's
weird.
that's
Yeah,
spray
it's fucked
paint.
up paint.
Oh,
Yeah. So on Crown Vics, the front fenders like to rust, so you can definitely see paint marks on it there.
yeah.
The hood, I don't know what the fuck they did to
Yeah,
it. They
that's
sprayed the whole
interesting.
damn thing, but it is a generic.
Ooh, she cleaning them fucking
Damn.
engine bay.
It's a decent Crown Vic.
That's
Like it's not overly nice,
no,
but you don't want a Crown Vic to be nice. You
No.
want it
Yeah.
to work.
No, someone tried to take some good care
Oh
of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, for it having 198,000 miles, it's in pretty good shape.
That's,
I mean, like even your
awesome.
plastics look fucking good in the engine bay.
yeah.
That's what kind of blows my mind.
That would be one that, like,
Ooh.
if a lot of stuff falls through, I'd grab it, but it is still pretty far off the route.
Ooh, dear
You know.
lord.
This is me just saving random shit.
Yeah.
I would like to have another one at some point, but not enough to drive 3 hours out of the way
No.
and overpay for one.
When we already have a 3-mile drive from Burlington to the start of the fucking trail.
When I bought my 2010, it had 100,000 miles on it. I bought it for $2,800
right.
in pristine condition.
Yeah.
This thing for 2,500 at 198, it's a bit overpriced.
Yeah.
Yeah. People want way too much for Crown Vics over there. I
You can-
noticed.
You can
Because
thank
they're workhorses.
you can thank Cletus McFarland for that because he buys hundreds of Crown Vics,
Yeah.
so he's inflated the market by buying all the cheap auction ones.
I've seen ones for sale. They were showing me listings for out of sale, but there was one in Maine that was in worse condition than that, with like visible rust. The current owner didn't take time to like try to clear it up, and he wanted $4,000.
Oh yeah, like
So fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's like
because-
fuck off. I can get this back home for like $1.
there is a valid reason for that. So a Crown Vic is not a police interceptor. They're not
Right?
they're not the same thing.
No.
An actual Crown Vic is like leather, nice seats. Like
Yes.
it is a car worth having.
Yeah.
A Crown Vic police interceptor is a workhorse.
Yes.
They are rubber floors, vinyl seats. Like they are not the same car.
No.
So a lot of places like Kelley Blue Book and stuff will list them at like $7,000.
Yeah.
So you see that and you're like, well, fuck, mine's nice. It's just not the same spec. I'll list it for $5,000,
Yeah.
and it just sits there until someone pays $2,000 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just the way it goes.
Another Honda Fit.
This
That's a
one,
newer generation.
this one was listed today or yesterday for $3,000. It's a 2010 Fit Sport, 1.5 liter, 150,000 miles. This one would be my backup Fit if I get, my heart set on one.
Ooh, what was?
It's further away. It's had some rust repair and it won't pass inspection
Yeah.
because of rust. Rust on the rockers, which I'm fine with. It would be a nice car to have. It's good color blue. It looks pretty
I
pretty.
think it was the second picture that had an interesting picture of like the patch by the wheel there.
you can see the
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
work on
see-
there.
Well, because it rusts out and you have to
Right.
replace it all the time. They just didn't bother to paint it the right color.
Right.
It's just spray painted black there, which,
Fuck
I mean,
it.
if you do it to the front ones, then fuck it.
yeah, just they're fenders. They're
Yeah,
fender
that's,
flares.
yeah,
race
that's
car.
that's the sport trim.
Yeah. This one's further out too, but it's just like,
that one's actually not bad. Coulter is just like north.
is
Oh.
it? This one's not
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah, that's
No.
fine.
Well, it's listed today and listed for $3,000 instead
Yeah.
of 2,500, 2,000, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is another classic trick when you sell stuff is wash it right before you list it.
Yep.
Because it'll make dull paint shine.
Yep.
And you'll just think it rained. Now it might have rained here because it does look pretty wet all around it. But and it's got a
yeah.
dashboard cover which looks goofy as hell.
Oh, I didn't even
Ew.
notice.
Yeah, I don't-
Yeah,
That'd probably come off once I get home. But
it's like
People
people
get
put,
home the minute you fucking get in there.
no, because I want to keep the dash nice. But
Disgusting.
disgusting.
It's like people putting car bras on like newer vehicles.
I'm
still.
gonna put eyelashes on this thing, and you can't stop me. But yeah, that's one of those that's like, if worse comes to worse, you start
Yep.
messaging,
Yep.
Thursday night, like, hey, like, are you gonna be around tomorrow at
Yeah.
all? You
Yeah.
know?
So just another clarification. Is
Correct.
Andy planning to get there like Thursday afternoon, kind of
I
late?
believe Thursday midday.
Oh,
is his
okay.
plan, 'cause he's gonna leave. Well, he's gonna leave from Boston to drive up there.
Okay.
That's only a couple hours
Yeah.
realistically, So
Okay. Cool.
it
So we
really
have
wouldn't be hard for him to make that drive.
basically about 24 hours of open time to get these vehicles.
Hypothetically, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got to get those baked beans.
The baked beans from Boston.
So when this episode airs, we'll actually be on the trip.
This episode will air Tuesday, the upcoming Tuesday. Not tomorrow Tuesday, but a week.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we'll be on
from
the
now.
trip.
We will be gone when this airs.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 3 hours from
That's not
Boston to
bad.
there. It's not bad at all.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
So if he leaves there at 10 o'clock, rolls in at 1 o'clock, he's got the majority of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Interstate 89 goes this far?
Oh my God. Like Interstate 80 runs like fucking across most of the country.
Yeah, I know
you
80 does. Yeah.
Yeah, and it might not be the same 80. Like there might be a split where it runs across some other
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Can I scroll? Nope, it's mad.
We don't
Okay.
have the most recent. Oh,
I don't know, man. Google Maps being
Shit's
goofy.
fucked.
yeah.
But
Okay.
hypothetically, he'll be there, sometime middle of the day without getting too crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. All right.
But yeah, honestly, Craigslist has surprised me how much stuff is still on there that's decent.
Right. I was gonna say, like, I mean, if people are gonna waste the money to publish,
If you're
a
going to spend the
listing,
dollars to
then-
actually list it, it is nice to
yeah.
see that it actually, that they're listing stuff that isn't complete garbage.
Yeah.
So let's give an example of a listing that you should be scared of. Where is this Volkswagen?
I knew you were gonna.
Well,
search
first of all,
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
Well, Volkswagen, so it's German.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you know that stuff tends to go wrong after 100,000 miles.
Plus, I'm
This-
just going to take a shot in the dark here. First of all, it looks like it's been sitting there for a good fucking while, just judging by the fucking vegetation that's starting to grow up
By
in
the
front.
collection of dirt around
Judging
it.
by
Yeah.
how dull the hood is.
Yep.
The rest of the car is fine, but the hood.
Yeah, and it even looks like towards the back corner there's a bit of rust.
Yeah.
So the condition is listed as fair, which I believe is the worst thing you can list it at in Craigslist.
Yikes.
Yeah. Craigslist and KBB.
The odometer is 131,000 miles, so it's past
Okay.
that 100,000 mile
Yep.
golden point. The interior's nothing to brag about. It's not like pristine clean. It's not bad.
No.
Yeah. It
You
could be a
know.
lot worse.
It is a manual Jetta, which is dope. Which is
Okay.
why I looked at it in the first place. Nothing crazy wrong with it from the appearance. The ad is where it gets weird.
Oh.
Oh.
Needs some work.
Oh, no.
Some exterior damage. The transmission won't go into reverse.
Fuck no.
Occasional oil light flickers and goes away. Solid electronics. Like
If it's you going away.
wait a minute.
you can't say both of those things.
No.
If your oil light flickers,
Oil.
that means you probably have a bad connection and or bad wiring fucking somewhere.
There's something causing it to flicker like that and be weird.
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
wiring.
this is Like, again, worst comes to worst, you could make that work.
I'm not dealing with electrical. Is the one thing I do not fuck with.
Exactly.
I think y'all learned that last trip.
Well,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was in general. I do not fuck with electrical
Well,
issues.
yes, that too.
Because
but-
you got to remember, like in a modern car, there is
Everything.
hundreds
Oh,
and
everything.
hundreds of feet of not only wiring, but then sensors and connections and fucking 10-year-old electrical tape that you're gonna have to peel off.
Things that
And,
rely on
yeah,
other things.
Just,
Yeah.
You're just asking for fucking
Fucking-
issues.
Fucking
Exactly.
everything has a CPU in it. now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You have 10
Cars.
computers in the car, and they all have to talk to each other perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is one that, like, in theory, you're like, just a light flickers, whatever. It is a manual, so the transmission going into reverse wouldn't scare me that bad.
But still.
But if it was an automatic that wouldn't go into reverse,
Oh, fuck no.
done.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just park somewhere facing forward, and someone can push me if I need to go backwards. Like, that's good in theory, but
Yeah.
but damage is already done to the transmission.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
one reason I would never consider buying that, especially on an automatic.
Oh, just in general, that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, it's
If
like-
your transmission is not going to go in first or in reverse,
Yeah. It's like, oh,
do not fucking buy it.
everything works
Yeah.
great except for fourth. You're like,
No.
okay, why doesn't fourth work?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you do to it? Like,
Right.
you know, it's one of those things that in theory sounds like you get away with it, but in reality, probably not.
In this case of, hey, we're going to fly in, buy these cars, register them, and then fucking drive like 3,800 miles home.
Yeah. If you're
Yeah.
driving
Fuck that.
20 miles for work a day, I guess you can make it work.
Yeah.
If you're driving 1,000 miles home, not a
Nah.
chance. Not worth it.
No.
Something will sneak up on you and it'll take it out.
Or it'll just grenade itself in even worse.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the majority of advice to
Yeah.
Yeah.
ponder over.
Use your common sense.
Right. It's
Yeah.
if it looks like a good deal, there's probably a reason that it looks like a good deal and no one's
Yeah.
buying it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of just what to think about.
Yeah.
So you guys have your first couple of cars.
Yeah, we're going
mentally?
to go through tonight, Nick, if you're okay with it, and
Yeah,
re-go
after-
through our
after
list.
dinner, yeah.
And
So you're probably gonna start with that Escort and that
Yep.
Subaru and just kind of
Yep.
see where that goes.
yeah,
Well, there was another Subaru too.
there was.
But still, Subarus are Subarus. They
I
either-
know. I know it was out of our budget, but we can try and negotiate.
You just make more budget.
Well,
He wanted $3,000.
see, here's the thing that, and I think this is why I didn't send it to Brian.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the only thing that sucks right now and in our scenario shit.
Yeah.
He just listed it recently for 3K.
Uh-huh.
I don't, at least to me, if I was selling a vehicle on Facebook and I had it listed for $3,000, and 4 days later, a guy messaged me and said, I have $2,400 cash right now. Will you take that?
Mhm.
I'm probably going to tell him to get fucked.
If it was listed for
Fair.
a month, that's
Sure.
something you take.
Sure.
At
Okay.
a couple days,
Yeah.
You can
they're,
ask.
They're gonna feel it out.
I mean, when I bought my Hyundai, it was listed at $1,800 and I paid $1,200 for it.
Yeah.
That
Thank
should have been
God.
that should have been a sign. Come to think of it.
But
But-
you know, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we just that is, and I think that Subaru that we're talking about is on our B list
Yeah.
for that reason.
The 2005, yes.
yeah.
But either way, you've got an A list sorted out.
Yeah.
Oh, we had
Yeah,
like
we had our-
15 to like 18 cars at one point in an A to B list.
Yeah. Then they just unfortunately kept getting sold one by one. But
Which
like,
of course what happens.
oh yes, but like we had a pretty solid A tier list.
Oh yeah, we had like
For-
6 cars in there.
For what we did, that was what 3 weeks ago we did that.
I
Probably.
think it was 2 weeks, and then at like 2.5 weeks,
Yeah,
we went
it
in and
was
revised
before it was before the girls went on.
Yep.
Their trip. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to end it here. We got
Yep.
most of the
Yeah.
stuff hashed out. You guys got a good list. I got a good list.
yeah,
I think we end it right
Yeah.
here.
Sounds good.
yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.
Wish us fucking luck.